G'day guys, how's it going? Oh, just lost my footing there. Anyway, sun's out, but it has still been raining, so the weather's still a bit on and off. Keep an eye on those ants. They are a lot more accurate than the Weather Bureau, I'll have to say. Now, on communication and development of communication outside of kink, this is an interesting thing. I had a person ask if, because there's so much emphasis on communication and self-knowledge and all that sort of stuff with, within kink and negotiations to do with play. They asked, how has this improved your communications outside of kink and your own self-knowledge and development? I would say short answer is depends. Some people, they're very good at communicating certain things like their kinks and all that because they're motivated and entirely in that way. But when it comes to other things, they're not really very clear. Now, people say, well, how can that be? Because it's like, having known the terms and definitions or be specialising in a particular area. All the abbreviations, all the jargon, all that sort of stuff. But that doesn't necessarily translate into interacting with everyday people. Because things that you do say, shorthands, will have a different impact on the way you think and communicate with them. G'day Paul, how's it going? Example, the shorthand of CBT in psychology terms is cognitive behavioural therapy, but in the kink world it's cock and ball torture. So when you say, look, oh yeah, they do CBT and I found CBT helpful and all that, you can take it any couple of ways, which leads into context. You got to know who you're around, what you're doing, who you're interacting with, what terminologies you're using. And again, this doesn't necessarily mean that communication will be on par with what they've done or are doing in the kink world. Some people are a lot more comfortable because in some ways the kink world has definitions, a way of doing things, processes and procedures that are fairly standard, I would say. Not completely standard, but fairly standard. And in the real world, things are a lot more variable. It's the difference, I say to people, between having to look at studies and then applying that to the real world. You can have studies that take in measurements on the real world, but it's still within very narrow confines of that particular situation, that particular studies, and that particular scope. When you go out into the real world, things change. Example, Jurassic Park, when it says, okay, we only had females, so they can't breed. And it's like, well, some animals spontaneously change sex from male to female and vice versa, depending on what is going on. It's a survival of the species kind of thing. And people like that with communication and talking. Some people will evolve in different ways. So how has, kink and being aware of kink stuff, improved your communication, your self-development? Have you brought that into the real world, like into your everyday vanilla life? Have you noticed it in other people, like things developing and all that sort of stuff? They've improved or not, or that they've improved in some ways, but it's situational, it's contextual. I find that quite a bit actually. It's like I can't explain, I can't understand what you're saying, and it's like, oh, but it's really simple. So if it was simple, I wouldn't be asking you to explain it again. If it was plain as day, I still wouldn't be asking you. I'm confused. So yeah. Oh, there's a turkey. Awesome. Anyway, so think about that. Your communications, what you bring into the kink world, what you take out of the kink world and apply in vanilla life, and keep at it. Developing, evolving, improving, because you're going to come across different people that you play with, and they're going to involve stretching and developing your communication skills in order to exchange ideas and evolve. Anyway, gotta go. And here's a picture of a little turkey. I think it's just a baby. Anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.